Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is Tiff TV and you're watching Posh Incredible. Today I'm going to talk about project strategy. I'm going to relate it to a road trip. So I was recently in Vietnam and I did the Ha Giang Loop. If anybody, go ahead and check out the Vietnam travel videos to check out what I saw on the Ha Giang Loop. But while I was out there on the motorbike, thinking about life and my journey and things like that, I figured that project strategy is much like planning a road trip. So next time you're stuck on where to start, or maybe you're in the middle of a project and it's getting kind of messy. Anytime you're stuck on a project, this video is to help you kind of organize your thoughts and organize things that need to happen and need to take place. It's looking at project strategy with a different perspective, kind of getting away from all of the world and the land that you're in the middle of, and like stepping out and taking like a bird's eye view and a different perspective on it. So sometimes when we're stuck, it's because we can't see out of this valley that we're in. And so this video is to help you guys step out of that valley and look at it from like the cliff. So anyways, here we go. What do you need in order to complete a road trip? You basically have a goal. So let's say the Ha Giang Loop. I want to do the Ha Giang Loop in 4 days. That's all the time I had. The other thing is we needed to figure out how many miles or hours per day to drive in order to finish the loop in 4 days. We needed a list of spots and must-sees, like roads to hit and different types of sites, like the flagpole and the border of China and some like statues and stuff like that. And then we also needed homestays and food stops. And then we also needed equipment, tools, supplies for the road trip. So I'm going to relate all of these different things to an actual project. When you're looking at a project, it's best to look at it from a whole perspective. So this is the goal, right? The goal is to do the project in, you could break it down into days, but it could be anything. Maybe the goal is just to increase the number of followers you have on Instagram. And so you know where you start, and then you have the goal. And then in order to do that, you need to like break it down into a list of things. Okay, how do you create the number of followers? And this is the portion of the road trip that's like, okay, how many hours a day do we need to drive in order to complete this goal? And so it's easier to like put a number to it. So let's say you want to increase your Instagram followers by like 100%, okay? Then you basically make a list of all of the things that help increase your Instagram followers. So maybe that's creating videos, creating content, maybe that's creating a contest. You basically just make a list of all of the things that increase your followers, and you could do that by looking at your history. We did that by looking at a map and knowing how many, I think it was like 350 kilometers. So we knew that we had to do a certain amount of kilometers per day. So let's say you want to increase by 100%, and you've had an Instagram for a year and you've grown it over the course of the year, and so you just kind of break it down based on, like, let's say you have 1,000 followers, then you break it down into like, okay, you need to get like 10 followers a day, and that's your goal. Then the list of spots that are like must-sees. So when you're doing a project, there typically must-do action steps. So in order to create a video, let's say for Instagram, you need like a camera, or you need an editor, or you need music, or you need lighting. So these are the actual must stops in order to get to that goal of creating a video. You need to write it. So let's break those down. Those are like, each one of those is a stop on the road trip. Like if you're doing a road trip from New York to California, you have certain stops that you want to see, right? You have to see the Grand Canyon, you have to see White Sands National Park, you have to see Austin, you have to see Nashville, you have to drive the Blue Ridge Parkway. Those are the like must-dos in your project strategy. But then you also need supplies and equipment and tools. So the supplies and equipment and tools for the road trip are like a vehicle, gasoline. Maybe you need a GPS. Maybe you need a towel. So when you stay somewhere, you have something to dry off with. Maybe you need, like for us, we needed helmets. It was like rainy season, so we needed plastic bags to go over our luggage. We needed bungees to strap it on. So any tools that you need to complete your action. So I would categorize this as like software tools, maybe. So Instagram has tools that you could use to schedule stuff, tools that you could use to review your analytics, tools that you could use for advertising and like retargeting, tools that you can use for like filters, creating filters and making sure that all of your like Instagram posts look uniform and the same and like they're coming from the same company. And other things like if you're gonna run a contest, creating a campaign. So you're gonna need a tool to help you create that campaign so it can run on its own and you can analyze the progress from it. Tools to use like if you're gonna run a contest, maybe you need a program that chooses a contest winner, something that captures the email address or captures the share so you can track how those are like entries to the contest. So these are some of the tools and things that you need that will assist you in completing your goal. For example, if you were to go on a road trip and you didn't have a vehicle, it would be very difficult to complete your goal, although not impossible, because maybe you could hitchhike or maybe you could do something else. But those are the obvious things. That is kind of it. I hope this wasn't too confusing, but I just wanted to have a visualization of how you can look at project strategy in a different way, because sometimes our minds get mixed up and confused about stuff when we're thinking when we think about things that are emotional and we're already stuck in, then it's really difficult to make progress. So if you could just remove yourself, create a different system, organize the system, and then define it, you're more likely to get unstuck in this whole like project strategy planning phase. The planning in any project is the most difficult part because it creates, you have to think. Once you have the layout and the plan, taking the action steps is the easiest thing to do. So this is why I think the thinking, if you could learn how to simplify your thinking, and let's just say, okay, I'm planning a road trip, and then create your strategy that way, then all you have to do is take the action on it. Or you can go find somebody to do it. So like go to onlinejobs.ph and find somebody who can run a contest, or who knows the software, or who can analyze the data. And then it's easier, if you're not going to do it yourself, it's easier for you to find the people that you need, to find the contractors that you need, to find the employees that you need to do the work. So you can keep thinking and planning and strategizing. Anyways, thanks guys. I'd love to hear from you. Comments, questions below. Always looking to answer those. I'm going to be in Australia in January and February, and I may be other places in the area, Southeast Asia, Philippines, around the globe. So I would love to catch up, meet up with you. Maybe we'll host a little get-together depending on how many people express their interest. And thank you again for watching. And don't forget to subscribe and to ring the little bell so you know when we come out with more content. All right, guys, don't forget also to check out the podcast. That's Posh Incredible Transformations Podcast. It's a mouthful, I know, on iTunes or on the website poshinc.com/podcast. Anyways, guys, see you later.
I guess I got my swagger back. Mama, they said I killed the man. Well, I guess I got the dagger back.